Hello and welcome to tonight's homework help for Thursday night, January, what is it, 14, 15, 16, 17. Thursday night, January 17th, 2013. We're going to jump right in with similar figures. Proportion describes two or more equivalent ratios. Okay, we've been working with proportions all week. Each pair of figures is similar. Set up a proportion to find the missing side. Okay, these were tough for some people. I'm going to choose the toughest one since you took the time to come and take a look at one of our videos. So hopefully this will help you out more than just copying. I'm hoping you guys actually helps you figure it out too, because all the other ones should be easier. Anyways, I'm going to compare, in this problem I'm going to compare the small shape, I'll just put an S for shape, to the big shape, okay? And then we have to set up a proportion which is made up of two ratios that are equal to each other. So we got one ratio equal to another ratio, and so we have to make sure that we include this side that has the x, and that's part of the big shape. So I know I'm going to have an x there on the bottom because the x is part of the bigger shape, and all of the big shape sides and information should go on the bottom, and all of the small shape sides and information should go on the top. So I can see that the x on the big shape is equivalent to the 3 on the small shape. It's that little bit that looks like the part of a triangle that's cut off. So that 3 corresponds to the x, so that 3 should go above the x, since the 3 belongs to the small triangle, and we have all the small triangle stuff, or small shape, I shouldn't say triangle, the small shape stuff on top. And then you can pick any other side, and so let's just pick the for the small shape, let's pick the 10 side. So then if I pick the 10 side on the small shape, I have to follow that and pick the same side on the big shape, which would be the 40 side. And so notice that 10 is on the small shape, and so it's listed on the upper level with all the other small shape information, and then the 40 is part of the bigger shape, and so it's listed on the bottom along with all the bigger shape information. Okay, and right there we've set up our proportion, and then we can cross multiply and then get our one-step equation and solve it. So on the left I'm going to get 10 times x. I always like to write the number before the variable, and you'll have to learn how to do that in math. It's proper to write the number before the variable, and then it's easier to just write the side with the variable on the left-hand side. And then 3 times 40 on the right-hand side. So, well, I know that 3 times 4 is 12, so 3 times 40 is 12 with a 0 behind it, or 120 as we like to pronounce it. And then I'm just going to divide both sides by 10 because I want to isolate my x, or isolate my variable, get my variable alone. And it's 10 times x, so to undo 10 times, I'm going to divide by 10. If I divide the left side by 10, I have to divide the right side by 10 as well. Well, 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 1 times x is x. So I get x equals, and 10 goes into 120, well, I mean, 10 cancels, you know, the trailing zeros cancel. It's like 12 times 10 on top over 1 times 10 on the bottom. Well, the 10s cancel, and we end up with 12 over 1, or just 12. So in this problem, x equals 12. Okay, so that should help you out. All of the rest of the problems on this side are easier than this one, so hopefully that's enough. And if not, feel free to text or call Mr. Schlepper or myself, and let's go ahead and move on to the back side. Okay, here we are on the back side visiting a theme park. 13 children and 5 adults plan to visit a theme park. They decide to travel in cars. Each car takes up to 5 people. How many cars will they need? Okay, so let's see, 13 children, 5 adults. So then to do this problem, I just wrote down the information as numbers because it makes it easier to see. Here it says each car takes up to 5 people. How many cars will they need? Well, you got to figure out how many people they have in total. I would add those together. And then you're going to need one car for 5 people. Well, 5 doesn't fit evenly into the number that you add this up to. So even though you don't have 5 more people, you're still going to need another car for whatever amount of people are left over, the remainder. So then you're going to have to explain how you figured all that out here, and that should be easy enough. And then here it says John buys 2 cans of Coke for each person. The cans are sold in packs of 12. How many packs should John buy? So he has to buy them in units of 12, and you have to think how many people are in, how many people are there total, children and adults. And then you're going to need to consider that you're buying 2 cans of soda for each one. So that's how many cans you should have. But then you can only buy cans in packs of 12. So then you have to think how many packs of 12 you're going to need so that each person has 2 cans of Coke. And then you're going to have to show your calculations here on how you figured that out. Okay. If you have any further questions, once again, feel free to text or call either Mr. Slepper or myself. And thank you, good night, good luck, and go Bears! Roar!